I want to introduce this bunch to you. Now, I know that some of you probably sitting there already saying, man, they are the shortest bunch of people I ever seen in my life. Well, that's all right. We got a little bit of height. Bass singer is only 22 years old. Comes from Morristown, Tennessee. We call him the Chainsaw. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to get that microphone there, and I want you to fill this thing up with gas. I'm going to let him run it for you tonight. He runs a McCullough. Now, if you've got a McCullough, I'll guarantee you'll have to choke it to try to get it to crank. All right. Fill it up with gas, choke it a time or two, and show these folks why we call you the Chainsaw. That's pretty good. Put the last drop in that old chainsaw.
It ain't funny. Still ain't funny. You wouldn't be laughing if you was up here and it wouldn't crank.
Mr. Tracy Stuffle, the old chainsaw. You glad to see Tracy? Let him know. Mr. Bassman. We searched high and low for somebody that could sing real high and was built close to the ground. This young lady comes from Lenore City, Tennessee. I believe we found her, all 4 foot 10 inches of her. Miss Denise Helton. Would you make Denise welcome? Singing this soprano. Yeah. Now, I want you to know this one put a new word in gospel music. There was a big man walked out on a stage one night and called her a Smurfette. Well, we didn't like it too good, so we went to eating. Going to outgrow it. Had to quit eating, I'll tell you that. There's a lady one night, me and her had been having a few words, and me and her's brother and sister. Now, brother and sisters can fuss and fight all they want to, and that's all right, but nobody else can jump in and they wind up getting whipped. We had been fussing at each other, and she'd been on my back, I'll tell you. And there was a lady, I'd called her a Smurfette on stage. And there was a lady that come up to me, and she handed me a piece of paper, and she said, I want to tell you what Smurfette really means. And I said, okay. She looked at me real serious, and she said it means little devil. And I looked back at that lady, and I says, you don't know how that suits my sister tonight, I'll tell you. We love her. She married the old chainsaw standing over there on the other end. Her name now is Libby Stuffle. Would you make our middle sister welcome tonight in Fayetteville? Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm going to introduce him. I want to share something that happened to us. About a month ago, we were getting ready to leave out on a weekend. It was on a Wednesday, and we were going to Nashville, Tennessee. We all jumped on the bus, and here come Randy. He was happy. I mean, he was grinning from ear to ear. He was just thrilled to death. And there's nothing wrong with being happy. Just this particular day, he was extremely happy. He even jumped in the driver's seat and was going to drive right off the bat. I knew there was something bad wrong. We got to going. I thought I'll jump up there and see what he's so happy about. Maybe it'll cheer me up. We got going down the road, and I jumped up there, and I said, Randy, I said, why are you so happy today? He looked over at me, and boy, he just grinned. Show him how big you grin. About that big. He grinned. He grinned real big. He said, Tracy, right before I left home, I told my wife that I loved her. And she doesn't get to go with him very much. And And she looked back at him, he said, and told him that he was the model husband. No, wait, hold on now. The model husband. Well, that was on Wednesday. The next night, we were in Cookeville, Tennessee on Thursday. And we got the dictionary down and found out what she meant by the word model. A small miniature of the real thing. But doing a super job MCing, singing some great songs. Make him welcome Randy Perry. Yeah.
Can't say much after that, can I? I want to introduce. Now listen, guys, I love you. And I want them to play for you tonight like they've never played for you before in their life. They do a great job. The young man on the piano comes from Asheville, North Carolina. Mr. Mark Willett. Are you glad to see Mark? Young man on the bass guitar and blowing that harmonica tonight comes all the way from Man, West Virginia. Mr. Reggie Grimmy, would you make Reg welcome? All the way from Hazard, Kentucky. And we've got our own Duke boy here with us tonight. His name's Cooter. If you want to call him that, that's all right. Mr. Jerry Wells on the drums. You glad to see Jerry? Last but certainly not least, I'll guarantee you, when it comes to playing a guitar for the man called Jesus Christ, this young man can. He comes from Cumming, Georgia, Mr. Jimmy Loudermilk. Would you make Jim up? All right, guys, now, y'all have already done pretty good tonight, but I want you to play for these fine folks. We appreciate them. We think as sure as the Lord give us a talent to sing, He gave these guys a talent to play. If you enjoy them, I want to hear from you.